We got a couple people in the waiting room.
Like me personally.
I think. If you could just please add your last name for the minutes, please, that would be appreciated.
Did you call the order? No, you just want to.
No, I was just letting those people know, and now I'll call the order. We'll give them a minute to do it. If not, then we'll put them in the waiting room. So we'll call the meeting to order at 8:31 p.m.
AM.
And yep. First up is to approve the minutes from the February 24th meeting.
I'll make a motion to do that.
All right, I will second. Any discussion?
Nope.
All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we have the meeting minutes. For the joint meeting. Yeah, I'm done.
Oh, I need them, sorry.
Right. Anything on the joint meeting? Were you able to review those from February 11th?
Yes, I'll
Okay,
make a motion to accept them as presented.
okay. Second. All those in favor? Aye. And then last up, we have the February meeting minutes
So
from.
they're just in there twice. One's attached to the.
Oh.
I'm sorry.
Sorry, that's okay. I should have looked at the dates. All right, Michael, can you please, there's two Michaels actually, so can both of you Michaels, please add your last name so that we can have it for the minutes, or pop it in the chat if you can't, and we can add it to the minutes that way. If not, we'll have to put you into the waiting room until we see it. Got it. Keep an eye on that traffic. Next up, we have Chief Cole from the fire department here to discuss the grant they have received. That's what that is. I just quickly went through it. I don't know if you had a chance.
I would, yeah.
Okay.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good
Thank you
morning.
for being here.
Morning.
So the grant that we talked about last time I was here, the state awarded us grant, so we got a $1,000 grant, 50% match, so
Yep,
be a $2,000 expenditure, but they'll reimburse us 50%.
great.
And so in the little packet that I've got for it, there's a sheet for Judy to sign, and then on the second page is signatures for you guys
Okay.
approving the grant, and then it will go back to governor and council, and they'll sign off on it, and then we'll get the final approval for it, and then
This was for forestry?
this is for forestry equipment. Yep.
So this is for equipment or time or both?
Equipment, it's forestry hose and
Okay,
appliances and that
that kind of stuff.
kind
Great.
of stuff, so.
Love it.
And we were told at a meeting the other day that they have more money than they had applicants, so next year they encouraged us to see what we could come up with for projects, and they would be happy to give us more money, so
Great.
we're gonna try and take them up on that.
Usually it's the free money is
Right,
gone.
yeah, so
I think there's. This one.
Oh, for both of us.
I think so. I haven't seen.
Do you have those pages? I can start to show them. So I make a
Great.
motion to accept,
you need the actual, you need the full month number.
the grant. Issued from this Department of Natural and Cultural Resources to the Woodstock Fire Department. In the amount of $1,000, which is a match, so we would expend $2,000.
107.80. Right,
Okay. Okay, second that. That's okay. Yeah. Let's go.
On the front page. You guys want, I can go down. Over here is your signatures. And then for pages. And I think if you look at each page, your both initial and date. And I
Can we just do one date? Or do we have to both?
No, I
dates?
think you can do one date. I'll do the dates with one initial, save your writing.
That would be
For
great.
your hand.
That would be great.
And just check those front pages to see if they're there too.
In your eyes.
What's that?
Eyes. First and second.
Oh, we need a first and second.
No, they
Oh,
got
I made the
that.
motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gail seconded. All those in favor?
Ah, thank you, Kathy.
Thanks.
Not that it's.
It was a fun.
Matt, I'll keep this and make copies and I'll do my certification page. Do
So, I'm here.
you want me to mail it in?
Do
You have
this
the address on that front page?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And I'll make you a copy of the signed ones.
Sounds perfect.
There's multiple. Oh, yeah, up front and back.
Must be right up here. Thank you.
That was fun, but yeah.
We're doomed.
I know.
We're doomed back.
Just
Just resorted to
Just-
the.
Don't you? I don't know.
So,
I was sitting there, on vacation. You must try that. Everybody's like, yeah, leave this afternoon. You don't have.
You do? I think I need that. Thank you.
yep.
This stuff, like, what was the difference?
Anything else? People?
That's all I got.
That's it.
We've been busy this month.
Yeah,
We're up to 46 calls for the year, so
wow, wow,
we've been busy.
great.
Well, not so good for the customers, but
How many of them was structure fire?
a fair number of them have been, not full blown structure fires, but we've been to a number of fires in structures. Not like burn the roof off of them places, but you know, the goal is for us to catch them before they take the roof off. So we've been to a number of those.
Great, well, thank you. Thanks to the guys too. How'd your water rescue go last week? Sorry, I couldn't make it.
It was good. Everybody had fun and
Yeah,
they were like, this is one of the best trainings we've ever done. I'm like, it's always fun to go swimming in March
right.
in a pond.
Good times.
Yeah. So
Great.
it was a
I'm
joint,
glad.
we had a good turnout, joint training from us, Camden Thornton and Lincoln. Training,
Excellent,
people learn stuff and
good. Fantastic. Thank you.
and our Knox E-Secure stuff was all ordered, so that should be here in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
And
Probably more so, not a question for the select board, but for businesses, do the businesses have to find someone to install?
so, yes,
The
the
knock box, okay.
businesses will order and install the box.
Okay,
And then we'll come put the keys in it, because it'll get shipped to you as a business, it ships to the business. Open, it's locked open, and then we'll come put the front door on it and lock it. And we got the option with, we're gonna encourage people to get the E-key. I'm learning new stuff, but there's an E-key which we can program so that Lincoln and Woodstock both have access to the E-key
okay,
system, because Lincoln currently has a knock system, but they don't have key secures. So they're gonna upgrade their equipment to have key secures as well and have E-keys as well, so that lock cylinder will be electronic and either of our keys will work on it. So
That's cool.
doesn't matter who's first due, they'll be able to gain access without having to break something, so.
That's great. So will we put an information sheet together for
Yeah.
businesses for us to shoot out via
Yep.
email or mail, whatever,
Yep.
snail mail?
Yep.
Okay, that'd be great.
We'll do that.
Good.
Once we get them, the key secures installed in the rigs,
Great.
then that'll be the next step.
Move to the next step. Excellent. Thank you. We also have Chief
Good morning.
today.
Thanks
Good
for
morning.
having us. So,
Yeah.
I'm here to talk about a unique opportunity, the first of its kind here in Woodstock. And, it's really a grant opportunity that we found, through Lieutenant Hodgson from Hillsborough PD, who's here to kind of help me tag team this and speak a little bit about it. So, we had done some research into what's called the Stanton Foundation. It's an organization that, provides funding for a police canine program, the first canine program for Woodstock. The grant is for $32,000. And it just so happens that Lieutenant Hodgson has a canine that is ready to enter into his patrol school at narcotics school. So he had reached out and said, hey, this is an available grant that you may be able to acquire. And I had reached out to them and they said, yeah, you do qualify. There's no competition for it. So everybody who applies gets it. Some of that kind of talks about what it covers in the grant is to establish your first canine program, which this would be the first for Woodstock. It covers a dual purpose canine, which Lieutenant Hodgson can kind of speak to about it, but it talks about the purchase and acquisition of the police canine, all initial training, the 14-week academy that the dog would have to go to. It covers any specialized certification training, any canine equipment and operational gear. It outfits the car with any outfitting that it would need to keep the dog safe. Kenneling accommodations for the handler's residence, food and veterinary care for the dog for the first several years, reimbursement to the town for any training costs associated with the program. And in addition to the $32,000 in grant funding, they also give reimbursements for up to $1,100 per week while the handler is away to backfill shifts if need be. And also another $4,500 reimbursement to offset any program costs. So I was like, wow, this would be a golden opportunity to take advantage of it while it's here before it goes away. But they've helped out hundreds of police departments all across New England. They've given canine programs to Conway. And like I said, Lieutenant Hodgson kind of speak to that and what the dog would do. But we also partnered with the Tractor Supply in Littleton, and they're 100% on board for giving free food for the life of the dog. They're like, we won't charge you at all. So every month the dog would be able to acquire whatever food is recommended by the trainer, which would be Lieutenant Hodgson. So, and what's nice about the program, it's a locally based training too. It's here in New Hampshire, which is great. We're not sending the officer out of state to be trained. We're not sending, we're not losing anything. It happens here. And he's been great. He trained me in my canine days, and he even comes to the town to do training. So it's really cool. So the dog sees a different picture, in the course of its training, but he can speak mostly to all of that. He's been doing this for a bazillion years. So he'll be able to enlighten you on kind of what the dog could be utilized for to benefit the town.
So what's happened over the last several years is we were able to start making a training group here in New Hampshire. And at this point, we're responsible, we being, our training group, the one that I run, for out of New Hampshire, probably 20 towns, with at least half of them have dogs that came from the Stanton Grant. So the Stanton Grant is a huge benefit to a lot of municipalities as far as getting the funding and the cost going. One thing that's unique about our training program is I work in a town that is, not huge as well. So there's a lot of smaller agencies as part of this training program, and we use dogs in order to supplement searching capability, drug finding, and things of that sort in the smaller agencies. Oftentimes when we think about dogs, we think about SWAT teams and big police departments and that sort of stuff. But I actually find more of a resource, although it's not an everyday resource, more of a resource with some of your smaller agencies, some of your more rural communities. The domestic out the back door, a car crash from a pursuit or a DWI crash where somebody's running around the neighborhood. When you don't have a dog locally, that whole time delay becomes significant, and then we have less of a chance of finding these people. Oftentimes in communities this size, we have, dementia walkaways, we have Alzheimer's situations, we have stuff like that. And having a local resource in order to help locate folks like that, I think is huge. Especially when we're looking at not a lot of cost expenditure into it. With the drug detection, oftentimes on drug detection situations, you've got a car stopped out on the main road, and during the car stop, the officer develops some suspicion that there might be narcotics there. We have a finite window of amount of time in order to find a drug dog to come to that stop. And if we can find a drug dog to come to that stop, we're able to sniff the car. If he alerts to it, we could seize it pending the issuance of search warrant. So we're taking a chunk out of drug enforcement that way. And this is all stuff that may not happen every day, but happens enough that if we have our own resource in order to do it. Looking at the area up here, there's not a lot of dogs up here in this area. There's not a lot of situations where we can call somebody. So we have examples of, or we have situations in which the dog could be an officer safety benefit that we don't have if we don't have our own dog. With the funding through the Stanton grant, it seems to be logical to me to put a dog into the community to have the drug enforcement, finding people and things of that sort. As it happens, I had a agency from Vermont that was all set. I teach classes twice a year. One class is coming up in a few weeks, and I had an agency that was coming, and then they ended up backing out. Already had a dog for them, and I'm looking at the dog, and I'm watching the dog. She's a 2-year-old Malinois, and the type of dog that you have to the type of community matters. So some of your inner city dogs that are doing SWAT team hits only are different than dogs that are out in rural communities that are doing drug detection, tracking, etc. And I'm looking at this dog, and I'm like, this dog would be perfect for what the chief and I had talked about maybe down the road, is what we had talked about. Like, this dog would be perfect for that. But I need something to do with it right now. And the way I explained to the town administrator the other day, to me, it's kind of one of those situations that, like, you have a certified officer and we jump through some hoops to try to make it work faster than we planned. That's a situation we're in with this dog. Dogs are kind of hard to find sometimes. We can find them, but getting a quality animal that is right fit for the community is not the easiest task. And I've got one sitting here ready to go. There's a class coming up in a couple weeks. There's a slot in the class because Vermont had it. So what they lost is what I think you guys can get. So, and we've done it enough times in communities this size and a little bit larger that it's become full circle and super advantageous. I'll reference, just if anybody saw it online, it was circling online, a Concord PD K9 had located somebody inside of our apartment that had broken into the apartment just last week. That's a dog that we trained. We graduated from class in December last year. That call right there, without a dog, they would have gone into the apartment and they would have ended up potentially in some sort of use and force encounter with him. By having a dog available for the call, they were able to de-escalate it and get him to come out of the apartment. And you do that once, you do that twice, you find one person that is, lack of better terms, endangered out in the woods, and something bad could happen to him. My dog personally found a guy that was having seizures and hyperthermic, and his pulse was 30 at the point that we located him. Had we not located him, I don't know if he would have survived out there. And that's a small town deployment. So they're not going to happen every day, but having a asset coming back into an agency that's rebuilding and putting itself out there, I think is huge. And as far as the grant goes, it's been super successful across the group. There's no loopholes. There's no back part of it. And with any town that buys into our training program, we're fully invested into the training program. So we'll continue to help the town and the agency put that dog out to work. So if there's any questions that you guys have about what I presented, I'm happy to answer them. I my background is I've been 21 years in law enforcement and 16 of them in K-9. And I'm working my third dog currently, and now I'm in charge of this group, which is about 37 dogs at this point from 3 teams. So I do this 3/4 of the year. So,
And didn't you say when you were talking, when we were speaking, that this is an opportunity, it's like hiring a certified officer versus an uncertified officer,
Right,
this opportunity there.
yes, this dog, and after the meeting, if anybody would like to meet her, I brought her.
Yes.
She doesn't sit well for meetings, so. But this dog, on the side, I run a vending company as well that provides animals to agencies. And I was able to stumble into this dog, in December. Somebody was trying to get rid of it. She came up from Texas. She is a super nice animal. I really, really enjoy the dog. And I'm very excited that she's gonna stay here in a town that I train. She's stable, social. She's very environmentally sound. Her nose is great. Typically, dogs start in patrol class first, and then they do their drug detection class second, because drug detection class is a little bit more mentally challenging. Because this dog has been already shown a whole bunch of stuff, already trained in a bunch of stuff, we can start right in a detection class with that level, because this dog has been prepared for that. So if this dog wasn't available, then I'm not prepared to get Woodstock into the class in a couple weeks. But because this dog is available and it's a perfect match, I'm prepared. The grant will be a little bit behind, the paperwork and blah, blah, blah. It's fine. We'll work all of that out. But that's the urgency in it. It's just one of those situations that we stumbled into that we can make happen with exactly the right fit. And I know this dog is exactly the right fit based on every bit of training experience that I have.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah.
The only thing, our communities look small.
Mhm.
1,400 people in Woodstock, and I think maybe now down to 1,600 full-timers in Lincoln, so you're talking 3,000 people, but on weekends and big holidays, it can grow to like 10,000.
I have that asset right there for it.
You know, the thought of, you know, it's a little bigger community than what we said.
And to back that up, when I run a class, the training of the animals, nothing is put to, this is a small town, it's fine, just do that. Or this is a big city, just do that. Everybody does the same exercises, everybody learns the same tactics and techniques. I'm just speaking to the general public when we talk about this. That is one of the things that I hear when I put dogs in smaller communities. Is well, we're a small town, we don't need that. And that's why I reference that, but I'm with you 100%. I just put a dog in Antrim, which is pretty much identical. They don't swell like you guys do in population. It stays at the 1,500, 2,000 level all year. So, and that dog's already had 2 or 3 successful deployments. And one of them, I was there, and there was a suspect that had forced his way into a vacant property as we were looking for him on warrants. And again, not coming out of the property until we brought a dog out. And when we brought the dog out, then he came right out of the property. So, we talk about finding people in the woods, we talk about finding drugs, and that's all good stuff. But something that's often overlooked is the de-escalation and the safety, officer safety, and that applies to 1 officer or 10. Officer safety is officer safety.
Great. So the dog would have 1 handler?
Yes. Yeah. Would be assigned a handler, and that would be an agreement with the town of 5 years at least, so they'd have to sign saying that they're gonna.
That was gonna be my next question.
Are you talking about no one?
Yes, for a minimum of 5 years. So. Yes. Yeah, there's a.
How many kids? Everybody.
Yes, so there would be a 5-year commitment from the officer that was looking to take on the program to sign with the town for it that time.
And that officer is also aware that if there's a situation where he is off that day, but the service of the dog is required. Okay.
Yes.
And that's all part of this contract that he
That's
signs?
all.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I
I
mean,
mean, not if
obviously.
you wanna take someone's time off, like, but.
And they're not an everyday incident, but yes, it's not uncommon. I'll get up in the middle of the night, start getting dressed, and I'll come back a few hours later, and my wife will go, "Did you find him?" So she doesn't actually ask as I'm leaving, she just asked.
When Joe and I spoke about it earlier, that Todd mentioned Noah.
Yeah, so Sergeant Timmy Lunas has expressed a significant interest in it. He's done some work around K9 throughout his career, along with even
Yeah, I actually-
Lieutenant Hodgson.
As it happened in the perfect world, I knew him from years ago when we had dogs up in Carroll County, and he was friends with the Carroll County handler. And that was before everything was as big and formalized as it is now. But I remember him being around some of our units up there, and that was quite a bit. So I've got a guy with some experience. I got a great fit for the dog. And the only thing we didn't have was a lot of lead time. So that's the only thing that we lost. But I have ways around that, and I think it's absolutely worth it to jump right in.
And I think that the chief and I have had conversations with Sergeant Timmerman about the commitment and and he's been wanting to do it for a long time, so he's there.
Yeah, he's there. And I think like he's such a proactive officer. If you look at our board, he's the leader almost every month on, calls for service. And as we talk about like the drug epidemic and, he's out there getting car stops and, we know that drugs are in these cars, it's just building that, reasonable suspicion and probable cause to believe, and then we can move forward. And he said to me many times, it's like, hey, I know there's something in this car. Just, if I had a dog, it might have been a tool I could have utilized, because drugs are coming in every community, not just here, but everywhere. So he's like, 93 is a major corridor for that stuff. So, they pop into these little towns, they drop and they go on their way to like Berlin or, Littleton. So he was like, this could be a huge asset to the town to put us on the map for officer retention too, I think too. And it gives us something that people elsewhere don't offer. So now it's like, wow, we have these programs that we now offer to our department that maybe draw in some more applicants that maybe wanted to come work here. So that is another asset to it as well. I think.
Great.
No, it's great that the grant covers.
Oh, it covers so much. And these guys have been around for many, many years. And they've been doing this. I've reached out to them, to the president there, and he's like, yeah, there's no competition for it. So it's not about competing with the neighboring town. It's whoever applies is granted it. As long as you meet the criteria, which we do. And we've already verified that with them. So that was really great. He's like, yeah, there's nothing in there that you don't stay qualified for. He's like, you've never had the program. So that's a huge bonus to hear that news. I was like, oh, that's good. We're not going to get shot down for it. So
Now, is this a reimbursable one? So like we have to expend out X number of dollars and then we submit,
That's a great.
or is it like?
So, the actual time that the checks get cut, I'm not sure. I can tell you as the proprietor of the dog that we're not waiting for that before we start the class.
Right,
So we're
yeah.
gonna get into the class, we're gonna get going with that. I think that, whether the town pays the vendor and then gets reimbursed, or whether the vendor pays, or the state grant pays the vendor directly, I'm not 100% sure. So, I can tell you as the vendor or proprietor, I don't care.
Yeah.
We can take however long it needs to take. I'm not worried. about it.
Yeah.
that's not going to be.
No, I was just
fix
wondering, like, because we're gonna have to, it's unanticipated funds, so are we
As long
going
as it's
to?
happening I'm gonna need it to happen in the same year.
No,
That's kind of what I was getting at,
yeah.
because we get a lump sum of 32,000 right off, and then we have like a holding account where we pay things out of that, or is it, well, this year we might use 10 and next year we
No.
might use 5?
So I've had this question, and I've also given the same answer that I gave you folks, that I'm not exactly sure. And
Yeah,
it's never come back to bite me, so to speak. No, I don't think that it's a next year type of thing. I literally think it's something of who writes the first check. But like one has been sent, and then one, say you sent a check to a vendor, and then it goes right back to the grant, and then the grant is, if it's reimbursing, it's happening in a very, very short time. So it's not something that has yet jammed up anything, but also we can research the
We're
exact
early.
answer to that question.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's still early, so we're.
Right. When I spoke with with the organization last week, they expressed that it was gonna be super fast, because I explained the dates and the timelines. And I said, hey, what is necessary to at least get this process started if we were to be interested? And he said all it would take would be a letter of support from myself and from, the town administrator, and that it would go to the e-board, and he said he thought he could get it done before the academy even started. So I was like, wow, that's fairly quickly if you're talking only a few weeks. And he goes, yeah, they do this every day. He's like, I've been doing this for many years.
So
He's like,
it sounds like they administer the fund, the whole 32,000.
it could very well be that, and I can verify that today. Yeah,
Okay.
I can verify that information for sure.
I mean, it's not a deal breaker.
I'm just
Yeah.
curious.
For sure.
And I can go on record saying it's not the next year type of. No, it's definitely an extra process.
It was very
I wanted
fast.
to come, you guys,
Yeah.
maybe leave the dog and,
Yeah.
but,
No, that's great. So we need a motion to create or put forth the grant
to approve the
to,
grant for the K-9.
yeah.
Okay.
And then maybe you could approve it and then sign the grant paperwork in the office when we get it. You make that part of your motion.
That's fine.
Oh, excellent. Okay.
So, I make a motion.
Approve policies. Then.
No, we're gonna put out, we
That'll
have
be
a public
something
hearing
different.
coming and I'm just gonna add it to it.
Yeah.
To accept the funds when they come in, but this is just to approve.
So I make a motion for Chief Guerrero to submit the grant on behalf of the town of Woodstock. And when the grant paperwork is ready to be signed, the Board of Selectmen will sign it in the office.
So,
All right, all those in
Thank you
favor?
so much
Aye.
for the support.
No, thank you for taking the time to come today.
I'm absolutely thrilled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Awesome.
I know a little bit,
We'll pop over
after the meeting, I'll show you,
Yeah, that
if you guys
sounds
want to
great.
feed the dog, I can do that.
Love to.
Awesome. Thank you so much for the
Great.
time.
We're all doing
Appreciate it.
We're all the big dog people.
There you go.
Oh, no, you're gonna get the talking to.
You get the-
They made him be the bad guy.
You even got a song
Awesome.
going.
That's awesome.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Never mind.
All right,
Very cool.
Mr. Cheeseborough.
I'm right up here, sir. You look like you got a whole.
He's comfy now. He's all
They're
set up.
too close together, I can't get out.
Oh.
Good morning, everyone.
Good
I'm
morning.
here from the Woodstock Conservation Commission with two items. The first item would be that we're requesting that the select board approve the release for public comment of the appendix B of the which is the climbing portion of the management plan. You should have received one. The process will be similar to when our management plan was approved before. Following your approval, the next available date, I will contact Kathy. And the town will put it on the board for public comment. We will also be sending copies of it to the Society for the Preservation of New Hampshire Forests, who have a back deed on the property. The Central New Hampshire Climbing Association, which has been instrumental in helping us draft that. Other interested parties, and the procedure is that all comments must be written and they may be sent to the town office, dropped off at the town office, or emailed to the conservation Gmail account. The deadline for the final submission is April 30th, and we're hoping that by May 14th, the WCC meeting, we will have people will have a chance to present additional information or support for what they have written, but at that point, we will not be taking any new comments. And this is sort of the final piece of the management plan.
It looks really good.
And if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, I would request that you make a motion to allow us to release the draft for public comment.
Yeah, nice work, really good, a lot of thought put into it. So I would certainly make that motion to, release it to the outer world for public comment.
Second.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Geez, why, good question. How come you're not using your conservation Woodstock email? Why
We
you,
are.
oh, you said Gmail, so I
Did
wonder,
I?
are you using your Woodstock one?
We're gonna use the Woodstock
Okay.
one. I thought,
Okay, I just was
oh,
told,
I know, I didn't draft the note, and so I'll go, thank you though, I'll go back
I
and
just,
change it.
yeah, I just wondered if there was a problem with it or,
Nope,
okay.
the only problem is those little things from something keeper that come up every day.
How are you gonna disperse this? You're gonna put it out on you guys' website?
It's on the website, we're sending copies to the list of
The list,
individuals.
yep.
Yeah.
And maybe we could do a Facebook post to help push that out through the town of Woodstock's Facebook page.
Yeah, if they wanna give me something to put on.
That's just one more thing for us to monitor though.
No, we would just push it out, look, same thing. Here's the public draft, comments can be made or questions can be submitted to the email address,
Oh, okay,
just that,
okay.
and have a link, I can do it. I'll do it, I'll do the post. When you guys are ready and ready to
I
for it,
can link, I just, I'll link
Yeah.
it to their page. I
Yeah,
don't
link
even know
it to
what
their
they want-
page
what
and-
they want to say.
yeah,
If they give us the verbiage, that's easy, I just read the verbiage.
They can't use Facebook to communicate.
no,
We do not, we don't have comments on our Facebook because people were thinking that was a way and
No.
it's not.
it's just another form of getting it out to the public to review it, because otherwise they may not know or see it. Because they don't, unfortunately, not everybody checks our webpage every day.
No. So we use it just like our webpage, that's
Yeah.
our intent of our Facebook page.
We hadn't thought about it. I don't know.
If you're not, it's fine, we'll,
If you wanna put an email, you wanna put an email out to the rest of the committee and ask them.
Yeah,
it's up
And then
it's
just get back
entirely
to
up to you.
Judy.
I just worry. It's good intentions.
Oh, I hear you, I get it.
The Alex Ray trips to Ukraine were collecting beanie babies to bring over with them when they went over there, and a nice person decided to help them out by putting it on Facebook. They had 3,000 beanie babies, way more than they could even take.
Oh, God.
How nice of that.
I actually have
thing, no?
about 100 in my attic now because.
That guy who left over from London.
Yeah, when we called Steve Rand, who is also involved in this down in Plymouth, he said, we can't take any more. Call us back maybe in the fall.
Yeah,
Next trip, and they're over there right now. They do an amazing job.
they really do.
So
Okay.
let me check with them.
Check with them, yep.
The second matter is the border between the National Forest and MERRIAM Woods, which came under scrutiny when we surveyed our MERRIAM Woods property, and there's now a 1.4 acre strip that nobody owns. And we received a reply from the town council. I hope you got to look at that. Pretty much the problem is that they're not sure where the town line between Thornton and Woodstock should be,
Mhm.
and they need to know where it was, because that's what was used when we were designing MERRIAM Woods's property. The plan was for us to go up to that point, and the Forest Service eventually got the land that they have now from the town of Thornton, and it was to go down to the line. So, Judy, you were involved in the.
Yeah,
the
and I have not
comments.
done any of this because I was in town meeting and town report.
Yeah, well, obviously,
So,
so I guess that she had some suggested actions. And I am just here to find out if there's something that you want us to do, or shall we just stay out of the way?
no, well, they'll stay out of the way.
Well, no,
No,
we obviously are not aware of the town boundary.
Yeah, and I don't know,
I guess, yeah, step one would be to let's see if we can find that survey from Everest Vinno first.
Where exactly is it located?
You know where the town line is, Woodstock and Thornton.
Thornton, yeah.
Where the
it's
parking
almost
lot
like
is
you need
being
to have
constructed.
freedom
It
of
goes up
restriction.
on the inside of, supposedly goes up on the inside of our property goes up on the inside of the parking lot, the west side. And up and back. And the lawyer feels that the original intent was that the Forest Service land or Thornton land given to the forest would come down to that point. Right now, it doesn't come down that far.
I think, I don't know, I think that we're gonna need to have a preambulation done. Or rewalked, or like we've done on the other sides, but we'll see, I'm gonna talk to Roy.
Yeah, can you do it
Yeah.
with, can you do it with Thornton jointly too? I mean,
Yeah, we'll involve, Thornton will be involved.
you might ask
do
them
that.
if they've had it done,
Mhm.
when was the last time?
Typically, we'll get a copy of that when we get involved too, but we'll check,
Yeah,
I don't know,
Okay,
I just didn't have a chance to do it when it came in.
well.
Yeah.
You also might talk to, the surveyor who surveyed Merriam-Wood, Mr. Barnard, Alan Barnard. And associates, you sent him a bid, paid him a lot of money, maybe you talk to.
Yeah, that's true, we did, didn't we?
fair enough. All right, so we'll start with that.
Mm.
And then circle back. Thank you for bringing that to our attention.
I was gonna put a little log cabin on there and.
Geez, I have
Okay.
one more thing on here too
What
for
was it?
you. FAYWAY side, you wanted to,
Oh, well, I didn't get a chance to look over the proposal, but I was at a meeting where the proposal was presented. Of course, I was late because I had to be at this meeting. Anyhow, FAYWAY side, has been there forever, and so many people in our community, but including myself, say, what the heck, where did those steps go? Originally, that property was bought by a woman who wanted to turn it into a reservation to honor her father, and that's why it's called the Fay. And it was the Fay Reservation. She donated it to the Appalachian Mountain Club, who actually had pretty well-known park designers, relative of the guy that did Central Park in New York and stuff. And it was, the design was put out there. However, at the time, the AMC, this was back in the early 1900s, was not in any position to do something as involved as that. They did at some point construct a few things like a viewpoint, a bridge across the Pemi. The property extends from just north of the Alpine and the Christmas Loft across the Lincoln town line into Lincoln. It's a I don't know how many acres. It's pretty significant. It's a very cool place. A number of us have always been drawn to the area. It was logged by, the AMC gave it to the state of New Hampshire. The state of New Hampshire logged it a few years ago, and now some interested parties are using the Upper Valley Pemigewassett Historical Society. That's not quite right, but as a, not having them pay for it, but a place where they can raise funds for this project through them. It's a rather significant amount of money. They've thrown around $45,000. But so much of what was designed, they still think they could use. It's an historic property. In the early 1900s, the town of Woodstock would put out a little hiking guide. I found all of them in the library here, listing places where people could go and walk. It's in the very early stages, but I think it was something to make the town aware of, because it's it also borders on our town land to the east of Route 3, where the dam is. And we've been talking about things that might need to happen with that property, with the dam. I don't believe the dam property would, it actually interrupts. The Fay comes down, then we have Woodstock property, and then Fay starts again. Below the dam.
Both sides of the road.
Yeah,
What's that?
So it's on both sides of the road. So when you're traveling Route 3 north,
Yeah.
you have the left-hand side, which is all the
Yeah.
natural forest, but
Yeah.
then you have the Route 3, and then it starts again down to the
Except
river.
from the Lincoln town line to below the dam is owned by the town of Woodstock.
But yeah, it's like a sliver.
Weird. We'll have to look at the map just to.
I've started calling it the Amos Memorial Swimming Hole.
The what?
And you know, in conversations we've had with Mike Welch in the past, something might be happening with that dam at some point,
Mhm.
removing it, things like that. So we want to be aware of what's going on with this development. It can only ever be a reservation. It cannot be developed in any other sense because of the.
I love
That's
that.
great.
The plan. Has been, there's some people from AMC who are professional trail designers and maintainers and things. Interesting anecdotes that have gone on. How to raise the money? Well, maybe we could sponsor, sponsored 100 yards of trail or something like that.
Yeah, that would be.
And then we'd be looking at volunteer labor to construct the trails and stuff.
Mhm.
They at least know not to do it on the south side of the property, which if you go in there, is all swamp.
Mhm.
The Northern Borders Grant.
Maybe.
Well, they would be interested,
Congressional grant.
Lisa Riley or Carol Riley, both with the Historical Society. You contact them with any ideas they've asked for things like that.
Yeah. Yeah, cause it's any nonprofit or town entity,
That's
so
awesome.
that would be very good.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know, it might be difficult because it's one property in two towns.
Mhm.
So if you got a grant for Woodstock, would that mean that on that fork 3 over, we'd have to stop whatever we were doing? I don't know.
That's a good point.
But-
No, cause we could collectively go in. We could bring Lincoln aboard and collectively go into. There's opportunities, yeah.
It's very,
I'm sure they'd be all for it, sure.
yeah, it's and to me, it's such a cool place. I've had to go, since the logging, it's almost impossible to walk through some places because of the growth, of the new growth is about this far apart. But I spent a couple hours in there one day looking for a lost dog, and then there are some snowmobile trails and bike trails back in there that I've been around on.
Hmm.
There's a big,
We used to.
appears to be a snowmobile camp in the middle of it with a lot of wood stacked up so that they have a place to hang out. I don't know how that will play out, but
Oh, 65
what's that?
acres?
How much land? is it?
65 acres?
I think it's more than that.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And the state of New Hampshire would be in favor of developing
So
that.
far, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's so
and
far there.
Probably development isn't the right word.
No, but recreational, yeah.
Recreational use.
So they might
Parking
know,
would be an issue,
you know,
though.
they're, I would think that they would be on top of all these grants too, but we'll throw them out there.
Well, they wouldn't be able to apply for a Northern Borders grant or anything like that.
AMC, well.
AMC can do congressional grants, AMC can
Yeah,
do Northern
I'm sure they
Borders.
do about
Right.
that.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have to reserve a place for the cruisers to meet. That's based on for that parking area. I think it can.
Great,
All interesting.
yeah, it's super interesting, that'd be nice. Yeah. Do you have something for us?
Sorry, is it okay? Just, I did find
Yeah.
out some additional.
Jim, are you all set?
All set.
Oh,
Thank you.
Great, thank you, thanks for bringing everything forward to us.
So I got some more information about how that grant does work. So essentially the first step in doing so is getting the letters of support from the police chief and the town administrator. Then what would happen is they would take that, put it in within 10 days of receipt. They would get that, approve everything. Then they would go to look for the handler, which we know who that's gonna be. They
Right.
meet with Nick, which he's already done. Then the step 5 is that they prepare the agreement with the town. And then step 6 is that they will fully execute the agreement along with a full check for the grant amount, $32,000. Before the patrol academy starts. That's like 6 to 8
Great.
weeks before, but where it's starting so soon, they would have it within 6 to 8 weeks
Okay.
of that. So you would get a full check, but it does say that we do have to set up an account, a separate account for this to go into. It just says that you'd have to work with the town treasurer's office to establish, excuse me, a separate
An
fund.
expendable trust type thing?
No, it's gonna be a separate checking account.
It says, yeah, it says exclusive use for the canine program where the monies will be deposited into. And you would
That's
get
what I
a full
figured.
check in the amount of.
Now she's my friend.
Deal breaker.
So those are the steps, yeah, just
So we
clear
need
right
to-
here as to how that works.
We need to redo your votes, okay, so we need the vote to include me writing a letter of support.
Yep. His
You-
letter of support.
You prepare, you signing the agreement and grant documents in the office. And the motion to set up a separate checking account.
Okay. All in one motion, or we should do the checking account separate?
I don't think it matters. It's
Okay.
up to you.
So we're gonna go back and we're gonna revise the motion. So I make a motion for the town administrator, Judy, to write a letter in favor of the program or the
Letter of support.
letter of support for the grant, and Chief GUERREIRO to do the same, to then sign and execute the agreement and contract in the office when that becomes available. And to also authorize Judy, the town administrator, to create a separate checking account for the grant to be administered to. Grant funds to be administered to.
So you're gonna sign the agreement and grant documents in the office.
Oh, I said contract, but we'll call it grant agreement, contracts, or grant agreement.
All paperwork
All the paperwork,
necessary
yes,
and to open a second checking account.
right,
I'll second whatever it is you guys just said.
okay, perfect.
And then you guys will have
All
to
those-
go to the bank and sign with Ellie. Well, I'll have to go over. and sign.
Over, okay. All those in favor?
Bless you.
Excuse me, thank you. I know.
We're gonna have to have a public hearing to accept those funds as well, right? I know we're exchanging.
We will have and now that town meeting's over, this week, I'm gonna send one for you to accept the Northern Border funds,
Oh, good,
to set Joe's funds from the DOT, and I'll just group this right into it. We'll have one public hearing for all three.
okay, great. Oh. Okay, sorry. All right. That sounds good. All right. Anything else on that? Then, Judy? So we had a motion and both of us accepted. You got that, Kathy? Okay. Good, good. And then we also have a loan application for the Lower Main Street replacement.
Thanks again.
Is this a new one or is this one that you and Scott have been working on? DWSRF.
Oh, no, I took a little nap for a minute.
Okay, you're checking out for a minute, okay. Okay.
No, this is the one, this is Scott's already reviewed, it's been approved. This is your loan document for Lower Woodstock.
Okay,
We are now there, finally.
okay.
So.
So
that
we're
was
using
for-
a loan of 800,000
Yep,
and we are using capital reserve of 3, because wasn't it a little over 1 million?
well, yes, and we're gonna use an additional, we're gonna use 2. And
Okay,
now we're using from 2025, we're using 3 from 2026
Six.
unassigned fund balance.
okay,
So really, it's going to be 800,000 loan, 500 from capital unassigned fund balance that we were able to bring over, so it won't
Right.
impact the water.
users.
Um,
And the water users are the ones they're annual fees or monthly fees.
Only the water users pay for
Pay
this,
for
and
this.
this is based off the warrant article that was voted on in 2025.
Perfect. Great,
Just,
so, is this? All three of us sign this, so I make a motion to, accept and sign the application for the DWSRF loan agreement in the amount of $800,000. Is this Scott will need to sign in the office when he returns?
well, you guys are gonna, based off your minutes, are going to sign this one, but you typically what you do is say any further documents going forward, Scott has the authority to sign.
Okay.
But this one does require all three of you.
Okay. So you have the motion, Scott. Gail and I will sign today after approval, Scott Rice, they need to fix his name, it's spelled wrong on here. They spelled it RISE. So actually, we're gonna have to sign in the office as well, because we're not gonna sign this document with his name spelled wrong.
I just corrected
Okay,
that he's not gonna sign this document anyways.
oh, okay,
He's gonna be,
all right. And in addition, any documents, going forward for this program, we, give Scott Rice, selected Scott Rice, the authority to sign on behalf of the board. Is that good?
Seconded.
All right, all those in favor? Aye. Yeah, you just wanna make note for them that they.
they've got it on the second page, they've got it. I gotta check my email and see if she's answered me. I have one question. No, they just sign on page 5. Okay. So they had a second signature with a bunch of the samples. I'm like, do they have to sign saying they acknowledge the samples? Or does this after it goes to governor's council, you'll have a new. And she just answered, they have it signed, they have it right there, so it's, must be just a typo.
Okay. Great,
So that is moving forward now.
thank you, Nancy. Finally, Jerry. Wonderful.
This started with Jerry was still here.
And that's when they, yeah. It did. We tried for the Northern Water Grant, but there wasn't enough development
Yeah,
down there that they would, it didn't qualify.
no. And then we ended up doing the sewers. Pump house, and
Yes.
which
was
needed as well. At some
Yeah.
point, we do have opportunity for both here. So then we have under old or other business, it looks like we've got some preliminary inquiry from the Upper Pemigewassett Historical Society on some historical markers.
Yeah, that's a preliminary, she first wrote to me about the process, and you'll see in there where I responded, about
Yeah.
state town and then she sent some samples. So I thought I would share them with you. So you could see what they were working on.
Yeah, I think the only thing we would ask is if they get down, as they get further into the project, that we do get to peek at whatever's being whatever they anticipate putting up.
I'll just,
So that it
I'd like to be
blends.
involved.
Yeah, we'd like to be involved. Be sure that it blends with our main street if it happens to be where some of the markers, I didn't notice in
And
here.
at first, I thought it was just site markers, but then it was like murals that were sent, so now I'm not. I guess I'm a little, I think they wanna mark them with murals,
Or is it both?
or is it both? I'm not really sure.
Yeah, well, maybe as they get further along, if they wanted to come in and
That's what I was
give
thinking.
us a little presentation, that would be great.
Yeah,
As long as they're not sticking in the sidewalks.
No,
no,
no, it looks like they had a couple of,
yeah, if you look
couple of
at
locations that they outlined here in Woodstock. The right side of Fadden's General Store, which, I mean, these are all private businesses.
and so you're not
We
really
don't-
gonna have a say.
No, I think the only thing that, and we don't have a sign ordinance besides like setbacks and that kind of stuff, like.
And I did let them know that and, you know, being out of state, right? Because at that point I thought they were markers. So that's where I was. And they may, you know, like, they might want to get with Kim too, because Kim had some ideas and wanted to do some mural,
Yeah.
or maybe this is in tangent with that, I don't know.
I don't know.
But
The only one that kind of throws me off here is underneath the I-93 overpasses. That would be something that they would have to certainly get
that would be the state.
the state's blessing on, which I'm not quite sure that would happen, but maybe.
Yeah, me, you know. Don't know.
What the mark under there?
It looks like they're looking to do like murals of like, kind of like what we used to see when you go in Lincoln
No,
post
it's
office,
not.
those type of.
It's not the on this site type of thing, it's an area thing,
That's what
yeah.
yeah, they've come through as more like a mural.
Yeah, I thought at
That
first they were
talks about-
markers.
I thought
Yeah.
that, you know, on this spot, the 4th of July parade stops for 15 minutes every year.
Yeah,
For refreshments.
I wonder who's gonna, like, they have an artist that's doing these, or,
I would imagine they'll have to put a proposal out.
yeah.
I think budget wise, I'm not sure they're close,
Sample timeline mention.
but. No, I think it's a neat concept and,
You'd be,
people really enjoy them. And it really dresses up a town.
it's just neat.
Especially when they're thought out and methodical in how they look, so.
Right. So yeah, I was just really giving you an FYI, you know, the communication that I was.
Yep.
Having between them, just in case you.
Yeah, I would say, if you email them back and just say, yeah, the board is, you know, excited in what you're doing and all they ask is to please keep them involved, and informed. Yep. Great. Any other comment on that?
No.
Do we have any public participation on any of the agenda items that we talked about today? No? Well, being none, I will make a motion to adjourn at 9:32 AM.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you for coming out today. Appreciate it.
Didn't know, but by the deadline, we get it on the agenda, so just tell you.